Since f is an even function, okay, Smriti, I got it. You take the attendance. F minus x is equal to fx for x belongs to R. Okay, this is the definition of an even function. That is f of minus x is equal to fx for every x belongs to R. You need to show that limit x tends to 0 minus is equal to limit x tends to 0 plus fx. Okay, assuming that they exist. So let limit x tends to 0 minus fx exist. Okay, suppose it exists. Then how do we evaluate this limit? So we have uh, limit x tends to 0 minus fx is equal to uh, in this, how do you evaluate this limit? How do you evaluate left hand limit? We put mm, say we erase this. In limit x tends to 0 minus fx, we evaluate this by putting 0 minus x is equal to h, right? So that we get x is equal to minus h. Therefore, as x tends to 0 minus h tends to 0. So therefore, what do we get? Limit x tends to 0 minus fx is equal to, now change everything to h, limit h tends to 0 f of x is minus h, right? Now since f is an even function, what do we know? We know f of minus x is equal to fx. So we can write this as limit h tends to 0, f of minus h can be written as fh, since f is an even function, right? So since this limit exists, let us say this is equal to k. Okay, say. Okay, now we shall evaluate the right hand limit. We say let limit x tends to 0 plus fx exists. Exist in limit x tends to 0 plus fx, we put x minus 0 is equal to h. That is x is equal to h. Therefore, as tends to 0 plus h tends to 0. Therefore, what is this limit? Limit x tends to 0 plus fx is equal to limit h tends to 0, since x is equal to h, fh. Now what is this? Again we are getting this, right? Limit h tends to 0 fh, which is equal to k, right? So therefore what do we see? That the left hand limit is equal to k and the right hand limit is also equal to k. So thus limit x tends to 0 minus fx is equal to k. Let me write this as limit x tends to 0 plus whatever be the value of this k or l or whatever is equal to this. So hence verified or hence proved. That is what you needed to show. That's it. Okay. We move on to the next sum. If there are no questions. Number 10. If you see question number 10, it says, for what values of p does the limit x tends to 1 fx exist where f is defined by the rule? Okay. So given fx is equal to p's function, given 2px plus 3 if x is less than 1 and equal to 1 minus px square if x is greater than 1. Okay. Now it is asked from you to find out the values of p such that limit x tends to 1 exists. Okay. So I assume let limit x tends to 1 exist, and even if you don't assume, actually it's given here that limit x tends to 1 exists. So we write since limit x tends to 1 exists. Okay, so since limit x tends to 1 exists, fx exists. Therefore, what can we write? The left hand limit of fx is equal to the right hand limit of fx as x tends to 1. Both must be equal. Okay, now we shall find these two separately, equate, and then find out the value of p. Okay, so let's first find out the left hand limit at x is equal to 1, which is equal to limit x tends to 1 minus fx is equal to limit x tends to 1 minus. Now for what values of fx you see x approaches 1 from values that are lesser than 1. So if you see what is the value of the function for x less than 1, it is 2px plus 3, right? And how do you evaluate the left hand limits? We put 1 minus x is equal to h, so that we get x is equal to 1 minus h. Therefore, as x tends to 1 minus, h tends to 0. So therefore, what is the left hand limit at x is equal to 1? It is limit, if you change everything now to in terms of h, becomes limit h tends to 0 to p x is 1 minus h plus 3. Okay, which is equal to limit h tends to 0 to p minus 2ph plus 3. Or you can put h is equal to 0 here only. Here only, in this step only, you can put h is equal to 0. Okay. So what do you have? You have 2p minus 2ph plus 3 is equal to 0. So if you put now h is equal to 0, you get 2p plus 3, right? This is what you're getting. Left hand, the value of the left hand limit. Now we proceed to find out the right hand limit. X tends to 1 plus fx is equal to what is the value of fx when x approaches 1 from values that are higher than 1? If you see if x approaches 1 from values that are higher than 1, value of the function is 1 minus px square. 1 minus px square. I say how do you evaluate right hand limit? Put x minus 1 is equal to h. So you get x is equal to 1 plus h. Therefore, as x tends to 1 plus, h tends to 0. Therefore, what is the value of the right hand limit? Therefore, right hand limit at x is equal to 1 is equal to limit h tends to 0. X tends to 1 plus is the same as h tends to 0. 1 minus p, and instead of x you put h, 1 plus h. Okay. So here, now what you can do is you can put h is equal to 0 here. So you get 1 minus p into 1 plus 0 square. Okay, so you get 1 minus p only. Right now, what have I here? Because this limit exists, these two must be equal. That is, left hand limit must be equal to right hand limit. Since left hand limit at x is equal to 1 is equal to right hand limit at x is equal to 1, that means we must have, what is the value of right hand limit that we have calculated above? 2p plus 3. 2p plus 3 is equal to, and the right hand limit is 1 minus p, right? So you get 3p is equal to minus 3. So you get p is equal to minus 1. Okay. Sorry, this is 3p is equal to 1 minus 3. 3p is equal to 1 minus 3. That means p is equal to minus 2/3, and that is your answer. Okay, so that is it. Let us proceed to the next one. Last problem from this exercise. Number 11. Show that limit x tends to 0 mod sin x by x does not exist. Okay, that means you have to show that left hand limit, either left hand limit is not equal to left hand limit, or you have to show that both exist but not finitely, or they both exist but not uniquely. In any case, uh, uh, you have to show that this does not exist. Okay, so we start by saying that fx is equal to mod sin x by x. Okay, so first of all, we calculate the left hand limit at x is equal to 0 at as x tends, because we need to check at a, as x tends to 0. So we have limit x tends to 0 minus fx is equal to limit x tends to 0 minus mod sin x by x. Now how do you evaluate this limit? Let 0 minus x is equal to h. That means you get x is equal to minus h. Therefore, as x tends to 0 minus, h must tend to 0. So therefore, what is the value of the left hand limit? Left hand limit at x is equal to 0 is equal to limit, change everything in terms of h now, h tends to 0 mod sine, and x is minus h divided by minus h, which is limit h tends to 0 mod minus sine h, because sine of minus theta is minus sine theta, divided by minus h. Now what should be the what should be this limit? Now if you see, it depends on the value of minus sine h. If minus sine h is positive, you can remove the mod, right? If minus sine h is negative, then you need to take a negative sign with the mod. So from the definition of mod, this function actually has two values. What are the values? First value is mod sine h by h if minus sine h is positive, right? And what is the other value? Is equal to, sorry, this should be sine h, not mod sine h. We can remove the mod if it is positive. Mod sine h by h if minus sine h is greater than 0, and if minus sine h is less than 0, then minus sine h by h. This is from the definition of modulus if minus sine h is less than 0, right? So what do you see? That the left hand limit exists, but it does not exist uniquely. It exists finitely, right? But it does not exist uniquely. Let us see the right hand limit. Right hand limit at x is equal to 0 is equal to limit x tends to 0 plus fx is equal to limit x tends to 0 plus mod sin x by x. Now in this case, how do you evaluate the limit? let x minus 0 is equal to h, or we say let x is equal to h. Okay, so therefore as x tends to 0 plus, h must tend to 0, right? So therefore what is the value of the right hand limit? At x is equal to 0 is equal to, change everything in terms of h, x tends to 0 plus means h tends to 0, and mod sin x means sin h by h, which is again, if you see this function, this has two values depending on the value of the modulus, is equal to sin h by h. If sin h is positive, is equal to minus sin h by h if sin h is negative, right? So therefore what do you see? Thus both left hand limit at x is equal to 0 and right hand limit at x is equal to 0 both exist finitely but not uniquely. They are finite but they are not unique. Hence we say mod limit x tends to 0 mod sin x by x does not exist, and that is proved, right? So that finishes the first part of your exercise. Okay.